This is an incredibly over-engineered thing I did back in 2019, which I'll show you how it went together. So basically I found the ukulele. I tried to sing twee. Well, I liked, my claim to fame with that was the H-bomber guy liked it, but here's what went into that. So this is a Eurorack module that I made. So you see that this cable is plugged into here, and this cable is plugged into here. And so what this is a little module that connects via Bluetooth to my phone so that I can load in a processing sketch and then bring in an image and have it controlled by the music hardware. And you see here, so I've got the demo thing going on here, but if we scroll down, I'm going to load in the ukulele sketch. So I sort of tap on that and you see it's got the first word up there. I'm going to go to laser pointer, and you see when I tap the gate, it's going through the words. And what I'm also going to load in an image, and I found the sort of transparent ukulele image. So you see that's sort of when I pan up here, it's like rotating the ukulele around from the hardware. And when I tap, it's going through the words and it's showing that little thing on the background. And I recorded the phone screen to make the video and then turned that into the little thing. I think I probably brought it into Ableton. This is what the module looks like inside. So this is all something I built based on that little Arduino unit. It's got built-in Bluetooth, and then there's these 5 control voltage inputs on the front. So what we've got is a control voltage, which can sort of go from 0 to 12 or whatever. We've got a gate, which is like on, and then when you let go, it's off. We've got a trigger, which I give that, so that just that sort of instantaneously, like a drum hit, that sort of like does a quick thing. And then there's like a clock and like a reset to sort of reset the clock. So these are sort of timing loops, and that can all be controlled from Eurorack. And then sketches are synced onto the phone via iCloud. So here's the so basically I wanted to edit them on my computer, so I made it so I could sync them to the Mac, edit them on the computer, and they just automatically come onto the phone. So here's the sort of iCloud syncing stuff, NS metadata, ubiquitous, blah, blah, blah. And then it's got a Bluetooth client. So the Bluetooth client has a few messages here. So when I said, so there's that control voltage, there's the trigger, gate, clock, reset. And then, so these have got like Bluetooth IDs. And so it connects, it discovers the service by the right ID, the peripheral, and then the peripheral does this did update value for, and then I can sort of switch that user identifier and find, okay, was it this control voltage? Was it the clock? Was it the trigger? And basically I then send that value through into my centralized app state. So if I click into here, so what you're going to see here, so the message, I think for some reason I am sending through strings. But these are published, so we've got some published parameters, which is how kind of the iOS part works. But these are also sending stuff over OSC, but I'm not using that today. So OSC is another protocol that means I can send messages somewhere else. So you're not just limited to sort of the internal stuff. So it sets these values. Last gate rise time is gate on, last gate fall time. And so then if we just have a look at what's watching that, we'll see that there's a sketch view, and the sketch view is the thing that loads in the processing documents. And so what that does is it kind of keeps an eye on those properties, and then when update UI view goes in, it's basically, it sort of sees if there's a new message and then just calls some JavaScript. So you see these window evaluate JavaScript, window evaluate JavaScript. So it's sort of sending in and calling these functions if they're there, you see. So if there's a function on gate rise, it calls that. Right, so these are all the things. And then what we've also got is the ability to load an image, which is done somewhere. Load image. Yeah, so this happens by, so it takes UI image, resizes it to a sensible size, and then base64 encodes it, and then chucks that over to the JavaScript. So that's kind of the iOS part. And then the processing sketch part, if I can find my document, this is basically a processing sketch, so with some extra callbacks. So you see, we've got a setup and we've got a draw, and then here's the words that it was going through. So I put them all in, dash separated, and then I sort of like break them up so that each one is a word, and so that I can show it one syllable at a time, like that on the screen. And then here's the draw function. It fills the circle based on the background size. That background size is sort of like then made bigger every frame, and I'll show you where that gets reset in a sec. And then we just draw the text of whatever the current word is. And then here's that receive image, so that you get a URL. That's a base64 encoded URL. And then mouse pressed I just support because it's handy, but also here's the on trigger. So on trigger sort of increments the word trigger, the word index, it resets that background size and changes the background color, which is why each time it triggered, it like made a new circle. And then on reset, it's just handy to be able to kind of reset the whole thing every time. So that was how I made that. I recorded this video using QCam Presenter, which is my own app, which I'm using, and here is what the script for that looked like. So I'm going to show you that. So here's what I just went over. I showed the video, right, like that. I sort of went through this video that I'd sort of already recorded. Here's my little script with all my notes. I can reorganize those. Here's my Xcode screen share with some notes of what I wanted to step through. Here's my Visual Studio Code screen share. And then on this last one, I jump to this other document so I can go into demo mode. So I hope you liked that, and I'll see you. Let me know what you think. I don't know. I did it ages ago, and it's not obvious what went into it, really, is it?